Favorite color is made from the blood of insects. And before you judge me, you've eaten it. You've eaten the blood of insects. Starbucks uses it in a lot of their products, and so do a lot of other manufacturers of food, because it's a natural alternative to synthetic red dyes. When Spain colonized the Americas, insect blood was the second biggest export, only second to silver. At Teotihuacan, I asked this artisan to use the ancient pigments used by his ancestors nearly 2,000 years ago to adorn the temples here to draw in my sketchbook. He used flowers for oranges and leaves for greens and brilliant blues by crushing up rock and mixing it with aloe. But here we're going to focus on red, because the technology of his ancestors changed the Western world. You see, red is a really hard color to dye, and Europeans had not really figured it out. But when Spanish colonists found indigenous people dressed in beautiful red fabrics, they knew that the indigenous people of the Americas had cracked the code.
I've read about this. To make red pigment, they go in, and these are actually insects that grow on the cactus, and they look white. Squish them, they make this brilliant red.
The secret was discovered by the Nazca people of Peru about 100 years BC, and from there it went up here to Teotihuacan and then spread to the Mayas and the Aztecs until finally it was stolen by the Spanish. And it was revolutionary. Artists began to use it in their paints, and the Catholic Church even changed the color of their cardinals' robes to use this new dye.
This is a 2,000-year-old painting, and the paint is using the same pigments we just saw that man used. You can see the reds and the greens and the yellows.
Eventually, synthetic dyes, alizarin crimson, would take the place of natural carmine. But in the 1970s, when studies found a tie between red dyes number 2 and 4 with hyperactivity in children and cancer, people went back to this naturally produced red dye. You'll find it in your ingredients list as natural red dye 4, cochineal extract, or carmine. For me, there's a very personal connection to this color. You see, when my grandfather passed away, he left a set of oil paints. And as a young child, I took those oil paints and burnt carmine, and I used it to paint a plastic figure, a jaguar that I had gotten from Hogle Zoo. I loved the color. It was brilliant. And when I became an artist and everybody else reached for alizarin crimson to make their skin tones, I reached for burnt carmine. To me, it is the most beautiful color in the world, and I use it to make every person that I paint, tapping into this ancient tradition, going clear back to the Nazca from Peru.